I've experienced quite a bit of it in the past and seen other people go through worse than I've been through. And I receive quite a few emails asking for advice. So I thought, why not put a video together? I don't really want to spend time trying to explain what gang stalking is, because I feel like there is enough
Okay, a lot. This video is from 2014. She also has this website calling out what you call it's done. The website's on top. I think you can see it. Yep, you can see it. I'm gonna post this on Your Social Freedom. Apparently, everybody knows if you do drugs, they get in you more. But I'm gonna watch one video of it. There's other videos to watch. I'll have to, when I watch a video, I put it under. Okay, this one's under. Okay, and then I'll just mark this one.
Hi, today I want to look at the gang stalking targeting, basically explaining what I've been through. And
but anyways, a person, when they are targeted or gang stalked, usually they turn bi or gay or paranoia or delusional, or they talk about God and they go to church or pray or say the devil's attacking them, or they have lesbian, bi, or gay in them. That's normal. Or scars, pick skin, dryness, drugs, face, teeth, radiation from teeth, under nails, skin. Could also be a messy house because you're microwaved. Your house will get trashed.
I receive quite a few emails asking for advice. So I thought, why not put a video together? I don't really want to spend time trying to explain what gang stalking is, because I feel like there is enough videos on YouTube and so forth explaining that, but no one's really explaining how to deal with it. Although I will briefly go over it, because even though, as I say, there's loads of videos on the internet explaining what gang stalking target individual involves, sometimes they're not got the whole picture, which is understandable because the whole picture is quite large. So I just want to cover that. Who, if I break it down, I've gone into who, what, where, when, but who's involved? It's from the top down. It's cults involved. It's through Freemason networks.
Okay, it's through all governments in the world. World governments and Illuminati are the same thing. Illuminati is the government, secret societies all over, and governments like MLK, CIA, FBI, CIA, any government in the world is part of this. And it could be also terrorists that are part of it, which they don't say. They act like they're attacking, even gangs or mafia. It could be anybody in secret societies.
That they'll just use the basic.
Even universities and research centers, or people, doctors and medical undermine too. I forgot about those.
Human beings on the street, but the network goes right up to the top, and therefore access to intercepting in communications, mail, public services, electricity, gas, government documents are all available to them. So this is why they can work on such a scale. So yes, as I say, it's cults and Masonic networks that are really orchestrating it, but they're using.
It's really all kinds of, all government people, universities, doctors, Illuminati, any terrorist, and these cults. They might have bought it from the government, or they got it from them, or watched it. And these cults are brain projected by brain waves to make them think to make these cults, and they might have gave them this even. But cults are made up in people's minds from this machine. They could have gave them the machine. They were probably thinking of one world to make World War III. They could have made cults all over the world, terrorists. They gave it to cults, terrorists, or mafia, or anybody, and gave them this machine, and they were planning to set them up, probably give it to cults, or terrorists, or anybody, the world governments, make it for them, brainwash them in their head, and then give them this computer, and the stuff to attack everybody, brainwash them in their head, so then they go down for the whole world attacking everybody, while the government goes free, and they're the ones that attack them. They were probably going to do that probably 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. We'll have to check into cults and see if they were going to set up every cult and make them look like it.
On the bottom to do all their dirty work. Also, people that are under it, we've got different people trying to make sense of why are they being gang-stalked, why are they being targeted. Sometimes they're whistleblowers, sometimes they feel like, no, I haven't really done anything. A lot of the time what is happening is they're victims of trauma-based mind control, but they don't actually, they're not aware that that was their life, and so they're not relating to it as that. Also, a cult is involved too, which I'll go on to explain, and so, and as well as I say, it's going from the top, so it's also black ops operations, which will be funding it, and the money is limitless. So this is who, and now we look at what. What they use, well, they'll use what works. So different targeted individuals will tell you a different way that they're being dealt with, and each person is worked with. As an individual, there is strong similarities, but each individual will be packaged differently. As I say, they'll use what works. If it doesn't work, they won't be using it. So for some people, what will work won't work on one, which will work on another differently. Also, it will depend on whether they have been victims of trauma-based mind control. It could come in the form of noise harassment, always having builders around, you know, so that you don't get no peace. I mean, basically everything is done on, as we know, on a little scale. If you expressed it to someone, they'd just say no, they could dismiss it. You'll have street theatre where there's whole dramas go on in the street, or people maybe, you know, calling names to you or so forth, or it may just be that you keep seeing the same person following you. They may use different hand signals, they may use just cough everywhere you're going, the same sort of coughs. They may use colours, different colour cars, or the ones that follow you, but there's no fixed way that it is. The surveillance can be overt or covert.
Okay, so the number one way they follow you is GPS. Your body has a GPS signature, a DNA signature. They can track you anywhere in the world. They can see all your thoughts, what you think in your head, what you think of pictures, what you want to do, your dreams. They see your dreams because they make your dreams. And they can see everything from your eyes. And also they have a camera that drives around in 3D space. They can see everything, so they still only follow you by car or undercovers if they think you're going to do a crime, or maybe somebody's going to do something to you, or you're going to do a crime, or you might hurt somebody or rob somebody, or you're under deep investigation.
They can make it that you don't know they're there, or they can make it that you do know they're there. Sometimes they will continue to let you know they're there, and if you ignore them, what I found is they'll keep going until you do acknowledge that they're there, and then they stop. So it's as if once they want you to know they're there, they want you to acknowledge that you know. Where, as I say, it's a global network. Just one sec. Okay, I'm back. Just had a phone call. Right, so where we was at is Where? As I say, it's a global network, so it doesn't really matter where you go. Some people leave the country, some people leave their area, they move house. It doesn't really matter because it's a global network, as I say, and so no real point in moving. Some people go to countries like Thailand and that, and they say it's less, but then some say that they're still getting gang stalked in Thailand. So I don't know. It's done in the street, done in your home, family, work, even in the church, in the mosque. It doesn't really matter because the network's everywhere. It could be done with your phone, interception, interference, with your internet, interception, interference, your mail, interception, interference. Often they'll use, if they're doing it in a home, they'll use like the gas man comes to check the meter, and it's all done to sort of stress. But I mean, well, I'll get onto that. But yes, different people harassing at the door, Jehovah's Witness, so forth. When? Well, in one sense, it's 24/7. In that sense, that some people will have it all the time, but also it's like as if they want to create an illusion that it's 24/7 because they want you to think that they're everywhere. It's like Sting sings, "Oh, I'll be watching you." He's meaning that. That's one of their songs. Yes. They want you to feel that they're everywhere and seeing everything you do and everything you think, and they do have all these different technologies, but they don't necessarily use them all, because what happens is if you keep say if you keep coughing every time you see if every time you go out someone's coughing, then when someone does cough just because they got a cough, you'll automatically start to think, oh, it's another stalker, when it could just be someone's got a cough. So what happens is you start perceiving the world, or this is how they'd like it, is you start perceiving the world through their antics, and therefore thinking that they're there 24/7 when they may not be.
Most likely, if they are watching you and feeling your emotions, if you're doing drugs, or if you're looking up weird stuff, and you can feel your emotions or weird thoughts or prescription, they're in your body, like in your mind, through Wi-Fi, known as live something, I can't remember, or some kind of Wi-Fi through a microwave weapon. So they're watching you all the time. Your thoughts on the screen, and your eyes, what you're doing, the recordings in your house. Most of the time, they're watching you all the time. They could be not watching you. If you're getting dreams a lot at nighttime or nightmares, they're still with you at nighttime. As if they're sleeping.
Also, sometimes the level of surveillance is not as big as we could perceive it to be, but they can hound you so much, especially in the early stages, that you think that they're everywhere, and every helicopter that goes over is a military helicopter to pester you. And it may not be. It may be maybe sometimes, but it may not be all the time. So it's about getting things in perspective. Okay, we're on to how. And how it's done is different, as I say, for everyone. It's using the principle a lot of the time of classical conditioning, which is a psychological term for if you keep if every time, I don't know, something nice happens, or something bad happens, a bell rings, then when you start hearing the bell ring, you expect the nice or the bad to happen, whatever is associated with it. So it's the same sort of principle, is they keep if they keep doing something enough, that then you know, like if they always follow you with a white car, and then white cars go by, you've already got an association with white cars. So then when you see a white car, it'll cause the same distress, whether it's theirs or just a natural white car. So it's like they sensitize you to things. But sometimes, as I say, for a lot of target individuals, they are actually victims of mind control, and therefore when mind control is put in, when it's placed in, it's done in a very organized way. And so when it's placed in, sometimes maybe like when they're putting you through a trauma, which may be like repeated rape or electric shocks or so forth, they may all cough. And then you've learnt that association through classical conditioning of that cough through that trauma. You don't remember the trauma because it's so traumatic that you've pushed it out of your memory. It may be in another altar. But the cough, when you hear that cough, it reminds you, or that altar within you, that a trauma was associated with that cough. So they know that when they go, they're reminding you inside of that trauma, and therefore creating a whole reaction in you that you would have reacted towards the trauma at the time, but you're not aware of the trauma. You're just aware that everyone's coughing and it's causing this reaction in you. This can be quite helpful, as I've written on in my website, of you can use that in a sense when they do use those triggers that were from previous traumas in previous altars. You can use that for indication of a way to access the memory, because you know that whatever they're doing repeatedly is likely to be an old association with a trauma, and therefore they're giving you clues of where to look to deprogram. Also, they use chips, electronic harassment. Chips, some people say you can pray out chips, some people say you can break the chips if you can find them under your skin. I don't know. I don't know. Electronic harassment, yes, it does exist. Not everyone's under that. Some are. Now, when it comes to stalking, people think, oh, you know, they're all paid and everywhere they go. It might be that everywhere you go, every shop you go in, everyone's doing that or whatever. And so you think, oh, they all must be involved. They all must know, they all must be paid. And that is sort of put out there. But I don't actually accept that as the truth. I think some people may be paid to stalk. Those that you see standing on the corner all the time may be paid to stalk. But I think for a lot of the stalking, a lot of the people that are cueing you and triggering you, it's about their MCs themselves. They're mind controlled themselves. They have alters themselves, and their alters can easily be programmed to do these things without them even being aware that they're doing that for that reason. So they're not even aware they're gang stalking to you, which it helps, because then when you challenge them, they wouldn't know what you're talking about because they are not aware that they're doing it themselves. Also, what people exclude from the equation a lot and don't really want it to be in the equation, but is in the equation as far as I'm concerned, is the demonic side of things, the occult side of things. And yes, the Masons and Black Ops is very much involved in dealing with occult, and that is the demonic aspects. And when, you know, again with mind control, people talk about, oh, the sex kittens and all this rubbish, which, yes, it is an aspect, but it's not the reason that all this goes on. And they sort of think, oh, well, programming, it just involves a little bit of trauma, a little bit of electric shock, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of hypnosis. No, it's a bit more than that. It's about traumatizing, it's about raping, it's about creating enough stress to open portals in the body to put demons in, or not in, but connect to. So when we're dealing with people that are MCs, they've also got demonic aspects to them. And I think that may be also what is triggered when we walk down the street and everyone's going, it's a demonic communication, which is why yes, he's like, well, how can they all be told at the same time? But it's about people don't really want to look at that dimension in the world, and that dimension does exist in the world, and if we don't acknowledge it exists, we don't address it, and so they can get away with whatever they want to. So why do they do this? They do it to isolate the individual, to neutralize an individual, especially if they're like a whistleblower and so forth. They do it so that you're isolated, so that you'll have people question your sanity. They, interpret, most of the gang stalking is very hard to prove, and so if you express it, it sort of sounds like, well, people coughing, you're paranoid. So again, then you lose friendships. It's to make, a lot of people end up homeless with no friends, and they lose their jobs because it's a whole network, basically to send you over the edge, to maybe result in you being imprisoned, or maybe result you in being sectioned, to be reprogrammed again, to discredit anything that you're saying.
Reprogrammed and deprogrammed? Are we all machines then? Are we all machines getting reprogrammed, deprogrammed? They can erase memories, depress memories, put us in simulation, and go more.
Some people are targeted, and they don't actually have a reason why they're being targeted, and they may have one, they may not know. I don't know them people. So now really the reason I'm making this whole video is not to explain about gangstalking, because as I say, there's enough on it. I want to share with you solutions. Right. I believe that if you understand what is going on, because I know when I first come across gangstalking, which is like 20 years ago now, it was like, what is this all about? Why are they, it's so petty, it's so, what is going on? Why is this, how is this done? And it was all very confusing. So I'm going to try and, I've tried to simplify it, and now I'm going to try and tell you solutions that I found. I haven't got no miracle cures, because this is big business. But what I have learned is, one day using neuro-linguistic programming involved, and therefore people, you may see, is they want to see your eyes, they want to read your eyes, and therefore I found that if you wear sunglasses, that causes a little bit of a problem, because they can't read your eye movement. And possibly as well, it's like, I know that research shows that if you was to stare at someone, and people can sense you're staring at them, because there is something, I don't really know the terminology, but like a frequency coming from your eye that will be picked up.
The frequency, or telepathic maybe, but people can tell when they say the name or look at people for some odd reason. But they also have thought the skull, the government can make you think it. So
another person if you're staring at them, and I don't really know all what's involved there, but basically your sunglasses,
and they could be undercovers telling them that you're staring at them,
is get in the way of all that. So sunglasses is a very good answer. A dictaphone is also a very good answer, and a dictaphone is good because it's evidence, but also what I find is, when you are dealing, like I dealt with social services and those authorities trying to sort of take reasons to justify taking the children, which they didn't get to do, but
yeah, when you have social services, when I was a little kid at 3 or 5 years old, social services visited me and then messed me all up from projection. So there's a common thing with people with social services or child services. So they have this weapon.
the way I dealt with them was to use a dictaphone, because even you don't have to tell them you've got a dictaphone, but just by having a dictaphone, there's a part of them that becomes aware, I am sure, and that's when we get into the demonics, that you have the dictaphone switched on. Because what I found is, when you have the dictaphone switched on, you don't even tell them you've got it on. Somehow they behave a lot better than if you don't have a dictaphone on. So you just have the dictaphone on, and then life does treat you a lot better, because it's like as if there's an awareness, and therefore people are more careful of what they say and what they do and how they...
Is a dictaphone a recording device? I guess you guys will have to look that up once.
Yeah. Also, a camera is useful. I don't use it often because But it can be used. I remember when I had Jehovah's Witness and I was not in a good mood, and they decided, oh, she's not in a good mood, I'm sure, and come knocking at my door, and people could say that's power. But basically, I was rude to them, and then they all just smiled and laughed at me. So I started taking photos of them and putting them on the internet. And no more. I've lived here 2 years, and since then, no Jehovah's Witness want to knock at my door. So the photos do work sometimes. Also videos, to video things. See.
Yeah, videos and all that work, but the only problem is they can erase any digital evidence. They can get in your phone, your computer, they can change it, they can make you say you're crazy. Even if you show them evidence and you see it right there, you could have 5 people behind you and see it, show it to a cop or somebody else, and they'll say it's not there. They'll act like you're seeing stuff. Even if they see it, they're still told to say it's not there. Plus, they can hack your cameras and that to make you think anything, to make you go crazy.
TV, I have had that in my home, and sometimes it works, but sometimes they just take the piss and put their own videos in, replacing my videos to show that we've been in and there's nothing you can really do. But it's worth having, especially if you're under like social services coming around for your children or something. Then yes, it's very useful to have CCTV, because again, they will behave themselves in front of the camera. Also put alarms on your doors. There's cheap alarms that we just get one.
I did the same thing. I put alarms on every window, screwed them shut, and put double locks on every door. When I was a TI, if you look at my other videos that I have, it'll show my locks on every door and alarms. I did that for 4 or 5 years with alarms on everything. And people thought I was crazy. I was locking everything and alarming everything.
There's cheap alarms that you can buy. I mean, I bought these $1.99 in the cheap shop.
Yep, so I bought the same thing. I have them on my windows all over the place, and I screwed them shut.
Little alarms that run on batteries, and they work on magnets, and then when the door opens, the alarm goes off. So at least then in your night time whether someone's been in or not, maybe. Also documenting. I mean, yes, it is documenting what happens, and everyone I say document, and I think to a certain extent, but then you want to get on with your life. But if there's sometimes it's...
Documenting is good. No, it's daily. Go to yoursocialfreedom.com and write daily blogs on there. I won't erase them, and it'll be used for the lawsuit. So yoursocialfreedom.com. Go to. Go on yoursocialfreedom.com and write daily blogs. The more you write, the more you can use for the lawsuit, and the more you get paid after the lawsuit's won. So,
documenting things if you feel it's generating a pattern, because then if you're showing a pattern, it shows that...
Yeah, in one of my documents I have filed, which I'll be filing in more, is about to get all our memories so we can use it for scanning.
Is the case. So documenting can be good, but it's about staying calm and not being stressed by it all, because if you're looking at the purpose of it is to create a tension in you, to create a negativity in you, to send you over the edge. So it's about, no, you have to remain calm. This is your agenda, is to remain calm. Don't alert them to what you're aware of anything, really, because if you do alert them, then they will step up their game. So it's about, remaining as calm as possible. I know as well, it's about, I know when I want to move and go, just do something different, it's about, they'll be notified if you change your pattern in life.
That is correct. If you move or anything, they can see on your eyes or thoughts. They can read all your thoughts. They can put a GPS if you leave the state or leave your neighborhood or go 50 miles, 100 miles. They even can put them under your car and alert you. They can also tell where you move, even if you try to hide all your addresses, not put it on taxes, not put mail. I did the same thing. No on nothing. Wipe your name off the internet. They still tracks me down. So it's hard to run and hide. They'll still find you. And their patterns. The patterns, how they detect, is by thoughts, by code, and by buying on your credit card or any gift reward card in the store. They started making gift reward cards at Quick Trip or other gas stations or stores because people pay with cash. And then when you pay with cash, they can't see what you're buying. So they can do it by thought, but then they started doing reward cards so that you have your name and they can see by patterns what you buy. It's mostly by credit cards or thought now. They might use reward cards yet, but they can tell what you're doing by what you buy.
Or you're going to change your pattern. So I know for myself, I stay as calm as possible when I'm going to go off somewhere. No one would really know that that's what I'm intending to do.
They can tell whatever you're doing.
Because I would just stay calmly and focused on what I need to pack to take with me where I'm going. And then that doesn't alert in any dimension, whether it's on a spiritual realm or whether it's on an electronic realm. There's no alerting of any change until I'm driving down the motorway. So it's about staying as calm as possible. And as I say, we're dealing with a cult, and so also use prayer a lot. And I mean, it doesn't matter what religion you are, prayer will still help you, I suppose, because it will still create calm. But also, I know for me, I deal with prayer, and I'm a Christian, so I will call on Jesus, and as far as I'm understanding, he's the highest.
Okay, when this code or Gangstalking or targeted individual, when you're getting microwaved or targeted Gangstalked, the government is Christian. All the governments want Christianity. It is the only religion left. There's God and devil and demons in this code that makes you talk about God, pray a lot, talk about the devil and God, make people think they're Jesus Christ. The devil's attacking them to make them go hurt people. All kinds of things are in this code.
So the highest. So when we're looking at
So if you're getting attacked, you'll start noticing you talk about God all the time, or Jesus Christ, or you talk about demons or the devil. That's not you. That's code running through your body, or your body is getting hit and attacked and you have nowhere to turn, so you just think about praying. Who knows the reason? I think there's invisible code, or maybe your mind just says, I need to ask somebody for help, so you pray for help. No idea yet.
the demonic realm, it's hierarchical, but all demons are terrified of Jesus. So calling on Jesus will make them flee. It's just the way it is. It's amazing. I had a guy the other day.
If you call on Jesus and that, I prayed and called, nobody left me. They don't stop attacking you if you pray on Jesus or God or the devil or the demons. You know why? The governments around the world are pretending to be Jesus Christ. They're pretending to be God. They're pretending to be demons, and they're pretending to be the devil. They act like the devil and the demons. They set you up, make you do drugs, suicide, or hurt you. Then when you get in jail or prison, they act like they're God or rehab. Then they say they saved you, Jesus Christ talked to you, or God. And it was the government being the devil or the devil or the demon. They set you up. They can control you. and then they put you in prison or jail, and then they act like they're God and they saved you, which makes no sense. It's fraud.
To check my electric, and it did feel a bit dodgy, and I just stood there while he did the cupboard, and in my mind just was like, yes, please Jesus, protect me through this. And the man seemed to like want to run from the house, and I hadn't said anything. I was just standing there nice and polite. So prayer can really work, and it's about using that and knowing that yes, demonic are scared of that. Also, there's a lot of people complain of sleep deprivation because yes, to make someone controllable, if you sleep deprive them, if you food deprive them or fluid deprive them, they become more controllable. This is what's used in basic programming.
Yeah, sleep deprived, that is correct. They can program you or control you more. People say if they're sleepwalking or if you just awake, they can make you say anything or control you, make you do anything. And that's including if you wake up probably for the first hour, maybe. When you're tired at night, they can control you more. When you're on drugs, alcohol, they can control you more. And they can suck down your head and make you tired, which is called hypersleep, and they can make you say more. It's more controllable. So if they put your head down or make you say stuff, or if you're on drugs or alcohol, you're half not there, and they can fully control you by mimics controlling thought to skull, anything they want you to do. Sleep deprived can control you anyway. That's where Freddy Krueger came from. If you go to Freddy Krueger, they can attack you in your dreams, brainwash you, kill you in your sleep, or if you're half asleep on drugs, alcohol, meth, heroin, or they suck you down for hypersleep, or you haven't slept for days, or if you just woke up for the first hour, it's like Freddy Krueger attacking you. They can control you, they can make you do crimes, they can make you say anything.
And so sleep deprivation is a big one. For that, I would recommend to use.
Anytime in hypersleep, when they suck down your head, they tell you to say this or that, or copy this, or say yes. They're brainwashing you, and they're making you say yes. They're brainwashing you to say, yes, I promise on everything, and yes, I will go do a crime, and yes, I will do this. They're brainwashing people.
Herbs as I recommend for crack cocaine users or drug users to withdraw from, because the herbs are for calming down the body and balancing the body. And the herbs are called Jaiwi Zhaoyawa. I'll write that. Screen. Also earplugs help, and also what do you call them? The things that you cover your eye covers. I don't know what they're called, but they.
So when you don't sleep for a couple of days, you're more awake. I mean, not more awake, you're more brainwashed.
Too, because a lot of MCs will say that when they close their eyes, it's still not pitch black. So these covers help. The earplugs help too. Also, as I say, try to live your life as normal as possible, because really it's about trying to isolate you, but also to try and affect your life, to steer you to focus on them and their agenda rather than you and your agenda and living your life. It's your life, so keep hold of your life, carry on as normal as possible, be friendly to people, because it's like your neighbours. As I say, if you be friendly to your neighbours, I do, if you're friendly in your neighbourhood, it becomes harder for the stalking side of things to actually tell them, oh, she's so and so, she's so, because if it doesn't fit with what they know of you, where if you stay isolated and recluse and away from everyone, then they can easily spread gossip, and you're not there to defend yourself even as your person. So it's about being as friendly as you can. I know for some people that's not possible, because it's like everywhere they are, they can't turn. Also, I learned years ago that The earth helps a lot, to be earth, to be grounded. So go for walks, go to the forest, go to the parks, go and get earth, go and get air. People, you know, put their curtains, draw.
That does work. When you're inside a house, they use your house as a condenser that holds a whole bunch of electrical magnet pulse or EMF or pulse. Inside your house can charge and build it up from the wires, the walls, and they can blast you more with harder bursts inside of a controlled area. Outside, it's a little bit harder. They could do it from each house, but somebody might see it or they might notice it.
And close their windows, let the air through the house. It's fresh air, let clean air in, get some air in yourself, ground yourself. And also I see that sometimes people struggle to have baths and showers because it's like as if there's a resistance to do.
Yeah, a bath and showers helps because you feel itchy and irritated and your muscles ache. I do it all the time.
But it's about try to do that, try to be in the bath, be in water, drink water.
And drink water because a microwave weapon is drying you out. And drugs are drying you out. Or whatever they're doing to you. Your brain needs water.
Helping you. So, as I say, I didn't know no magical answer, but I'm hoping that what I have said here is helpful to some extent and to some people. And if you anything to say, you can say it below. That's all I've got to say for now, and I wish you well. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, today I want in basic pro.
So that's the end of this video. We'll go to the next one.